Neil Magny versus Daniel Rodriguez, guys. Excellent matchmaking, and with D-Rod just coming off that win over Li Jingliang recently, makes for an interesting competition here. So guys, Neil Magny's kind of stuck in this little loop now of beating guys that either aren't in the UFC anymore or are just prospects in their own right, and he's beating like people like Max Griffin, for example. So we all know how good Neil Magny is. He's been in the UFC a very, very long time. Neil Magny is the cardio machine. He's extremely long for the division. His technique is pretty good, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say it's outstanding. I wouldn't say he's specializing in anything other than maybe volume and overwhelming people. But there comes a point with Neil Magny where he faces the guys that do one thing really well, like a Shavkat. I mean, that guy is a monster on his own, but there's a lot of others as well. You think how Michael Chiesa kind of like took it out of him, in my opinion, kind of not bullied him as such, but just clearly won each round without Neil kind of stepping on the gas pedal like he should have. But, you know, when he beat Robbie Lawler, for example, and the volume and the overwhelming he done, that's what you want from Neil Magny. You want him to use that reach, but he likes getting in close. He loves clinching, which is back off and use your space, use your reach. Did it against Rocco Martin, if you remember. Perfect example. So I really think Neil Magny is going to want to keep this at distance, because someone like D-Rod, which he showed against Li Jingliang, whether you thought he won or not, he didn't, but whether you thought he won or not, he's got some power shots. He hasn't got bad cardio, he's got snapping leg kicks, he's got a mean lead overhand right, and I think D-Rod could really do some damage here to Neil Magny. Neil Magny's going to have to approach this one, in my opinion, the same way he approached Jeff Neal. That is a great win looking back, seeing how Jeff Neal obviously just smashed Vicente Luque to absolute pieces. Jeff Neal seems to have like just jumped over that 10-foot wall to get into the next stage of his career, and he's looking really sharp. It's a great win to have with Neil Magny. I'm not sure how it'd go now, but if he can implement all of that game plan against Daniel Rodriguez, I think he can do some real damage here. Then you go to D-Rod, and D-Rod obviously fight Mike Perry, Preston Parsons, Kevin Lee. Now, Mike Perry and Kevin Lee are names, but are they that good? I'm the guy that's kind of skeptical on the Kevin Lee name. It was a good win at a time. I'm not sure it's a good win when he got it. There's a little things, you know. Kevin Lee's the most roller coaster guy. That should have been great. Oh, he's taken a dive. Oh, he could be great again. No, he's lost again. And it's one of those sort of wins. So it's a great win to have on your record, and it's a good name. Everyone knows Kevin Lee, but I'm not sure how much weight it actually carries into these sort of fights. The Li Jingliang fight, he lost that fight. I had him losing all 3 rounds. That might be a bit harsh. I'm not sure. I haven't checked other people's scorecards. I know the verdict scorecard was 3 rounds to Li Jingliang as well, so the majority of people thought Li won all 3 as well. Whether you had him winning the first round, I'm not sure, but Li definitely won the fight. I think that's a little bit... I think that would be classed as a robbery in my eyes, because I don't know how you can give that to Daniel Rodriguez in any way. But D-Rod, guys, brutal leg kicks. He's got some serious power with that frame. He looks like he's bulked up a lot as well, and he's going to need it for Neil Magny. He's going to want to get inside that long-ass reach of Neil, butcher his legs, stop that movement. When they clinch up, he's going to want to punish the body, expose that chin as he leaves. When they leave, Neil likes to... He doesn't use his elbows at the clinch as much as he used to. So you need to beat him to it. I think when you escape that clinch, when you back off, when you push off, hit him with the right hook, because he steps away further that your elbow, I don't think, isn't going to kind of reach, because he uses the arms as a frame. Now, when most people break off, they don't use a frame. They just kind of snap the head and pivot away, which is where the lead elbow comes over the top. With this one, I think the frame is so important. I think you're going to need to either hang on to his head so you can pull in with the elbow. That's not Daniel Rodriguez. I haven't seen him do that, but I have seen him break away with a mean-ass right hook. I think he might implement that a lot against Neil Magny, especially when they close up, because Neil loves to push you against the cage and grind you out with those knees. Likes to punish your legs as well, knees to the legs, continuously trying to slow your movement down so he can implement his own distance really well. I'm not sure it's going to work against Daniel Rodriguez here, but I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it will, because I'm actually picking Neil Magny. I think Neil Magny's cardio is significantly better. I think he would have learned a lot against Shavkat in that fight. I think the first round really showed the level. The second round, icing on the cake, isn't it? So there's a level he beats. I'm not convinced D-Rod is actually a top 10 guy. I'm not sure he's going to get to that stage. I think beating Li Jingliang is like, well done. You got a false win in my head. Do it again. You know, beat another guy. And Lee's not a ranked guy either. So if he's not beating someone like that, Neil Magny's seen and done it all. I wouldn't mind seeing Neil Magny versus Li Jingliang, or Neil Magny versus Kevin Holland, anyone like this, for instance. So guys, I'm actually going Neil Magny for this one. I think Neil Magny's going to really put it to him. I think he's going to overwhelm him with cardio and the volume, and when they do clinch up, I'm hoping D-Rod doesn't do what I just suggested he does, which is land that savage right hook he does out the clinch. But if he does, pull the head back, land that elbow, it could be good night Neil Magny. But I think Neil's wise enough, experienced enough to deal with someone of D-Rod's capabilities and restrictions with his own movement. So I'm going Neil Magny, guys. Let us know in the comments below who you're going for. D-Rod, Magny, love it. Like the video if you have enjoyed it, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you want to, and enjoy this fight. It's a wicked one. Cheers all.